everyone, and welcome to New Trials, the podcast. I'm Preya.
And I'm Melanie.
The New Trials of Cardcaptor Sakura, Sharon and Friends is a popular ongoing fanfic by Wishlove, and it's based off of Clamp's Cardcaptor Sakura. We finished Arc 1, we finished Arc 2, and now it's time to get into Part 2 of our Diana special, where we're going to be covering the New York Saga end of Arc 1. I'm so excited to revisit this because it seems like so long since we were here, and now we get to go back thanks to Diana.
Well, you know me, I'm always excited to relive the New York arcs I'm living.
Yes. Okay, take it away, Melanie. It's chapter 16, Running Out of Time.
All right, so we have first off, Miho! I'm so hyped. Miho's finally made an appearance. I love the very subtle hints of her background, LOL. She was totally projecting onto Sakura. Now, back to the chapter. I cracked up when Sakura asked why Maitland would need so many shoes. I've grown to appreciate shoes as I've gotten older. However, shoes are the last thing I think about when putting on an outfit. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I'm not really a shoe person.
I am not a shoe person at all. I feel like my mother is still buying my shoes at this point. I'm pretty bad.
Well, and if I put on heels, I'm 6'3", 6'4". I don't need help in the height department. And I had my fair share of wearing heels for shoots and runways. And so now I'm just like, if it's not flat, I'm not wearing it.
Oh, you know what, though? During the pandemic, I was really I think Facebook knew how much I love cherry blossoms. And then they sent me these cherry blossom print shoes, and I'm like, oh, that's so pretty. And then I actually bought them, and I'm wearing them, and they're starting to fall apart, so I think I'm just gonna have to get a second pair because I love them so much. I'll post a picture.
And then we have I lived when the girls had their girls' night. I live whenever they have a sleepover or just time together. This chapter was so intense. I always find myself reading it pretty quickly because I, too, feel like I'm on a timer. It's funny how videotaping/taking pictures inside an airport has been considered suspicious and not suspicious during these last decades. It really depends on the years and where you're videotaping. I'm not sure about sunglasses.
That's such an interesting point because, if you have a phone out or a camera out, I guess after 9/11 it was very suspicious, very weird. But now everybody's vlogging.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. Or TikToking or something. I will even admit, when I travel for work, I do little travel with me TikToks,
And I love them.
Then one thing I love about Sakura in this chapter is how she takes the threat seriously. Realistically, she would have alerted the authorities, but once magic was mentioned, I could see why she wouldn't. Add to the fact that Sakura always feels responsible for stuff. Considering how things have changed since this chapter was first released, I don't think people would consider her crazy for that. People take those threats very seriously now, even more so when it comes to schools in the U.S. I know people who are part of the school system, students and teachers, and it's disturbing how often they need to do a lockdown and investigation when people just lightly mention/threatening to do something harmful. Girl, you are preaching to the choir. I could do a full TED Talk on our dreadful love affair with guns we have in this country, but I digress. Although I do have a funny, I don't know if it's considered funny, but so when my senior year of high school, it was 2007, so sort of ish a little bit after 9/11. Anyways, this party was going to be had, and these girls made a list of people, and they wrote down all the names on this list, but they didn't write anywhere on the list of this is who we're inviting or blah, blah, blah. So instead it looked like a hit list.
Oh, no.
And they had dropped it in the hallway, and someone found it and turned it into the office thinking it was an actual threat. These people were, in harm's way, and our whole school got locked down. Like, all the parents called. All our lockers had to get searched by like police dogs and police, and all the people that were on the list had to go in and get interrogated. Like, it was a whole thing. It turns out it was just like a party list invite. But that just shows you, like, we really do have to take things so seriously.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
And then she said, "Thank you for sharing. Great job on the chapter."
Now it's time for her comment that she left for Chapter 16's podcast episode. "The Alliance of the Stars shoutouts are so sweet. It's so thoughtful of you to include them in the podcast, smiley face. We love our Alliance of the Stars."
Yes, please everyone comment. We love it.
"I've had several airport mishaps and a few airplane mishaps. The last few were when I went to Iceland. One of the first mishaps I ever had was on my first solo trip. Oh, great time. I was 13 and was, believe it or not, spending Christmas and New Year's in New York.
Wow!
My grandmother asked me to bring back a luggage of hers. Her luggage was black, and she placed a thin pink ribbon to distinguish it from all overs. The thing is, for some reason, Dominicans all think the exact same thing, and everyone on that flight had black luggage with a pink ribbon. Long story short, I spent 1+ hours looking for her luggage, only to find out that it was mixed with another flight's luggage. Sigh."
Oh, man. Knock on wood, I have never lost my luggage.
I've never used the Atlanta airport and never met someone who has. However, everyone I know, myself included, hate the Miami airport. That place sucks.
Well, good to know. I'll have to let my mom know because she's flying to Miami next month.
No, for us, our sore spot is the Toronto Pearson Airport. Ooh, that one stranded Melanie for a long time.
Oh my God. I sat next to this really nice gentleman, and he even told me, he's like, "All right, we're going to hike 1.5 miles to the tunnels." Ha ha. And I thought he was joking, but literally it was 1.5 miles of just walking through the freaking tunnels just to get into the terminal. Like, I was beside myself. I was like, who came up with this plan? And then we were all sardined into this tiny hallway waiting for these big doors to open up to where we could actually go sit by our gates. And all I could think about was, this is a fire hazard. None of us can move. Because it was like almost Labor Day weekend, right? And so it was so busy in there. I've never been so thankful to be 6 foot in my whole life because I could just breathe over everybody's head. But anyways, I digress again.
I laughed at your comments on faxes. As a kid in the 2000s, I knew what they were, but never used one. No one used them anymore. Still don't. However, imagine my surprise when I saw firsthand how in the U.S. many places and institutions use fax machines, old school projections, and slide projectors. Oh my God. See, like, in my line of work, we get like literally hundreds of faxes every day. So faxes are just normal to me. But oh my gosh, like, let's light a candle for the people using old school projectors. I thought they retired those.
They pop up every now and then when I go to like my research stuff because research is sometimes underfunded. But yeah.
Oh well, if it ain't broke,
you should fix it.
My jaw dropped at 30,000 a night. That's insane. Yeah, I'm still reeling over that.
He's talking about how much the Home Alone suite is at the plaza.
I don't remember when it's mentioned in Arc 4, but Ririn sent the ring to Keisuke. From what I remember from Kaito Magician's origins, Keisuke studied abroad while Miara finished high school and university. I distinctly remember him mentioning French and Spanish women when proposing to Miara, so I don't remember if he lived in Europe. He had tried proposing to her before, and then told her he must loved her very much if he found her far more beautiful than all the other women he met. Wow, Diana,
Dang.
thank you for your memory.
Good gravy.
I feel like he might have lived in New York or had the honeymoon there, but I haven't read KMO in a while. Although, why would he have the ring after what happens to him? I don't remember / know. Also, Kisuke was aware of what was going on with Nadeshiko and company. He just wasn't involved. Yeah, they must have really played tricks on his memory because Shing felt that Nadeshiko and Ryuren were just the subjects from afar, whereas Keisuke was one of the core four.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I hadn't noticed the explosion reference. Good observation, Priya. I never believed Sharon killed someone. I always felt like he said to scare the man. I do believe he is trained to do so, should the clan demand it. I do theorize that he might kill someone in the series finale.
Oh.
Yeah, that just reminds me of the mafia section of Arc 4, and then Sakura's like, no, don't kill him, just use Libra to see if he's telling the truth.
Yeah, that's such an intense scene.
Yeah. I also agree on your analysis on why Sharon acted the way he did. Couldn't have phrased it better. Lastly, Miho, heart. I'm so excited for the next chapters. Thank you for sharing. Take care. We're going to be doing reading the comments under Chapter 17, A Small World After All.
I always find it so funny that everyone not related to the CCS business thinks Tomeo made the whole thing up. I once watched a video on a CCS theory, a little far-fetched, that everything that happens in CCS is the result of Tomeo playing with her dolls. Wow.
Wow, sure.
There's a lot of theories that are like that, though, with a bunch of other different medias. This is why she knows exactly which outfit Sakura will need, because Sakura is just a doll and Tomeo can decide the scenario.
That Amamiya of magic in her.
Oh, jeez. I love Miho messing with Sakura by being like, Cloud and magic are real. She really takes after her brother, LOL. And did I smell some Kai foreshadow when Miho suggested Earl spike up his hair? Mike Kant makes his appearance. Oh boy. Am I the only one who forgot that Mike had an older sister? She's never mentioned again, right? His father is mentioned in Arc 3, though. Yeah, I remember when his father pops up.
Yeah, Mark, I think it was Mark Kant or something, and his father was actually the one that was using Nadeshiko and Ryuren as his, subjects from afar. But I don't remember anything about an older sister.
Yeah, I think his father owns the actual fashion company. I think he pops up again during the runway stuff in Arc 4. And then I think maybe a little bell's going in my head that maybe it's mentioned his sister as a model, but I can't 100% remember though. Good pickup though, Diana, as always. Who else went when Earl showed up? I swear, when I heard that accent, I was like, oh my god, the OG Prince of Mischief is back. Yes! I love your voices for Earl and Soupy. This might be my favorite audiobook chapter so far. My guy was wearing jeans. Is this a one-time event? Thank you for the compliments. I was smiling ear to ear while I read that.
And it's funny because when you were right before you were going to record this chapter, you actually threw it out in the Facebook group saying, "Hey guys, I might be doing a British accent for Ariel. What do you think about that?" And we're all voting, "Yeah!" But Diana wasn't around for that conversation, so for her to hear the British accent, that's her reveal.
Yeah, it was a probably much complete surprise. That's super cool. Lol at Sakura and Shaoran. Are you sleeping? No. Are you sleeping now? No. Gave me, you hang up first. No, you hang up first vibes. This chapter was so much fun. I haven't had this much fun with it since way back in the day. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you for sharing. Aw.
I'm telling you, Melanie, you're putting these new child chapters like on a whole new level, and we are so grateful for that. Okay, so this is chapter 17 for the podcast comment. I wish I had been around when the Q&A was announced. I was away from the fandom for so long, and I was so busy at the time. If I could turn back time, I would have asked her about her writing process 20 years ago, and how much has that changed since then. Well, Diana, keep that question in your back pocket. Wish Chan still hasn't reached out to us, but when she does, I'm sure she'll be more than happy to participate in another round of Q&As. So, collect your questions, folks. I haven't been to New York for a couple years now, but I used to visit quite often since I have family there. One of my fondest memories when I was in New York and had access to a scanner. I started scanning most of my New Trails fan art. Aw, I have to thank Preya for all the support. If you hadn't reached out and encouraged me, I might still be debating whether to make any contact with the New Trails fandom.
Aww.
Oh yes, I was definitely on the hunt for like community, and I could be wrong, but I feel that I found Diana in the comments of the fanfiction.net. I think that's how I found her, and then I reached out and started chatting, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you're part of our fold.
Oh my god, yeah. And I just love you by proxy.
No, we've been a fan of yours like for a long time, Diana. Like her fan art is so wonderful. And her insights is just like next level.
Mind blowing, crazy.
Yes. Melanie, I knew you were a model, but I didn't know you had a character in New Trials. That's pretty cool. It was fun learning about the modeling world through you. I think the only professional model I've ever met was my elementary music teacher, and I definitely wasn't thinking about the modeling world back then. Lol. Yeah, I think it's a bit hidden because she kind of like Wish Chan uses your stage name, so it's not on the nose, but it's like an Easter egg. If you know, you know.
And I'll talk about it a little bit more when it pops up of why that's my, what's it called?
Malin.
Nom de plume.
Oh, nom de plume.
Nom de plume.
Nom de plume. Yes.
Nom de plume.
Alias.
There we go.
The closest I've had to photographing models was during a photography class. During one of the classes, the professor grabbed some dance students and had the students take their portraits. It was really awkward since I'm shy and I struggle with lighting, but still fun. I hope you still do the photo shoot with your friend. Would love to see it. We're all rooting for you, Melanie. You're awesome. Thanks for sharing. Can't wait for the next one. So next on our docket is Chapter 18, Stockton, New York.
Oh my god, this line had me shocked. Sharon copied down the artist Sheen's address and slammed his laptop shut. Who knew that Uncle's data system was so much use? Spoiler, did Wu Tai have Sheen's address because he knew he hadn't killed him like he had intended? Did Wish Chan have this planned out, or is it a mere coincidence? Clow Reed would disagree.
What is she referring to?
So, Shaoran was able to look up the address of the artist Sheen on his laptop.
Yes.
And it's from the database that his uncle created.
Yes.
So she's saying, did his uncle know his address because he knows that they weren't able to kill him in the past and they're keeping tabs on him?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
What a pickup, Diana. Oh my god.
Yeah, that definitely went over both of our heads.
For sure. Wow. Sheen made his appearance, and that foreshadow about the Fates and Kaido Magician made me fangirl. I have to say that I laughed so hard when Sakura fought one of the men, because even though she was talking calmly to him, your interpretation reminded me of the famous Dumbledore said calmly, "Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?" Whereas she's talking about in the movie, he goes, "Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?"
The fans will never forgive that moment. Never, ever, ever, ever.
Poor Michael Gambon went to his grave with so yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and honestly, like after, like, because I acted it out already, and then I paused it, and I was like, do I need to go back and do that? But I was like, you know what? I like what I did. I'm just going to continue. Lol at Erika, thanking Shout-On for saving them when Sakura and Meilin did all the work. Poor Sakura. The Stalker's powers are really taking effect on her. I'm glad to know how the arc ends because this was so sad and stressful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no, it's like you think that arc 1 is all fluff, but then you have like the Stalker, and it's like, and still it's a precursor to the Phantom, and so she thinks it's bad now. It's only going to get worse. Oof. Okay. Now for the podcast comment for chapter 18. Another podcast. Melanie, I agree with Carolina. Your pronunciation is very good.
Muchas gracias, amiga.
Preya, I hadn't noticed those hints to the Arc 3 finale. Good catch. I love the thought that Wish-chan misdirected us into thinking the shadow was the Stalker when it was really Kaiju Magician.
Which she was unable to confirm in the Q&A, but... Yeah,
that's true.
But, you know, we'll just live with our little headcanon.
Oh, yes. That's the point of a deep dive podcast. It's like, we're not, no rock left unturned. I'm rereading Arc 3. Well, I was reading it, then stopped, and then got back to it after like 3 years, so my memory may be a little fuzzy, but we do see the destruction scene in Arc 3. I believe during the play. This is the scene in which we find out how Nadeshiko and Rian break up. So I think it's when they go into the Fates.
Which I'm at that part in the audiobook right now, but I'm only halfway through Star-Crossed, so I might just be getting ready to pop up on it.
Yeah. They're at the cliff, and she's telling him that they can be together. He says he can't be with a descendant of an Amamiya Hayashi, and tries to scare her by pointing his sword at her. Doesn't work. It gets really dramatic. The main thing is that he falls down a cliff, and Nadeshiko thinks he's dead for like a few days or weeks. Remember when I was in Kansas, and then like you said that you met the Fates, and you thought it was going to be a really long scene, but then it was like a really short scene, and I'm like, no, what you're thinking of happens in Arc 3. So I think this is what you're going to be rolling into very soon.
Yeah, because I just got through all like the plague stuff, you know, and like the Egyptian. So I think I'm probably creeping up on it. By the way, guys, buckle up. Star-Crossed is probably going to be like a 3.5 hour chapter. So tuck in for that one with a snack and maybe a glass of wine, or maybe even like a dinner.
Can't wait till the next episode. Thank you for sharing. I admire your dedication. Take care. Edit. One of my paragraphs disappeared. Short story. I didn't realize how many famous people I have met by accident.
Oh, wow.
Diana, you're going to have to elaborate on that. Now I'm curious. I want to know who you met.
For sure.
Next up, we have Chapter 19, The Dazzling Countdown.
What an eventful chapter. A lot of confrontation and action scenes. We got to see a first look at the Alliance of the Stars. That got me so excited for future chapters. And of course, we got some Sakura and Shout-On scenes. I really enjoyed the scene between Iro and Sakura. It made me realize that I want some more scenes between them before the series is over. Agreed.
Yeah.
My favorite scene, Iro's attempt at knocking some sense into Sharon. I mean, look at this. One might think that you are a stupid idiot. It's hilarious how it took Sharon a while to realize Iro's subtle insult. Do you think you can get away with insulting me like that? Yes. Everyone fell head over heels.
I love that everyone fell head over heels line.
Their whole fight gave me Arc 3 vibes. I'm sure this is a bit of foreshadow for the Battle of the Sun and Moon. And then there was some Rika and Mike foreshadow. Indeed. Yeah, that was the whole, I bet she'll talk about it on the podcast part. But yeah, I almost left that scene out because it didn't record. And I was like, no, I got to go back. It's foreshadow for Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
I loved Miho's constant teasing. We all know where she gets it from. By the way, am I the only one wondering why Ryurin gifted a baby/toddler a knife? And did Eren know Sakura had the eye of the dragon? Interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. It's like, yes, my father gave it to me. Like, Sharon, you were 3.
It'd be like me giving Luna a knife right now. I cannot imagine.
No. Okay, for the podcast episode, podcast comments. The coolest New Year's Eve was with my father's family a long time ago. In Dominican culture, at least on what I've heard family members say my whole life, you're not supposed to fall asleep before the new year because it's considered bad luck. Like, even kids aren't supposed to sleep. They may nap for like a few minutes, but they will need to be awake way before it's midnight. Babies are the exception because, they're babies. It's kind of hard to stay asleep anyway because people will be setting off fireworks come 7 p.m. Anyway, this one year, we decided to get in the car, drive on the avenue near the sea, and follow the big fireworks. We had the Dominican Christmas/New Year's radio station on, and they were doing the famous countdown with music. We were the only ones in the street. We never had to stop at any light because every single light kept turning green for us before we even reached a stop. We began the new year with us crossing a green traffic light and fireworks behind every traffic light. Aww. It felt special because we were chasing the new year, fireworks, and good energy, and we were rewarded. And the crazy part is that I believe this kept happening for about 30 to 45 minutes until we decided to head back home. It's a nice story. I really like that. Preya, I agree with you. How did Sharon think Sakura would know if he didn't communicate with her? This boy, lol. I love him, though. I tried thinking of when Miho becomes more responsible and more mischievous. Oh, sorry. I tried thinking of when Miho becomes more respectable and more mischievous. I think it comes and goes, except, of course, with Kai, as you pointed out. Like, she teases the boys, but it is shown to look up to the girls. But she doesn't shy away from teasing Sakura or seeing Aki in a respectable light in Arc 4. Maybe it feels more natural by Arc 4 because she's such a part of the squad.
True.
The SNS moment at the rooftop during the countdown gave me so much life. I'm so hyped for the next chapter in its fluff. Thank you for sharing, heart. And we're going to wrap up the end of the New York Saga with Chapter 20, Picture the Past. Take it away, Melanie.
The last chapter of Arc 1. So much has happened, and this is only the start. I was surprised to see this audio chapter be the length of a movie, and we're only in Arc 1.
Oh, Diana. So for those curious, the timestamp for Chapter 20 is 1 hour and 24 minutes.
That's why my voice is probably going to get more and more fried in the audiobooks as we go along. But anyway, so funny. I can't be the only one who totally forgot that Miho and Sharon had once crossed paths before in tea? Question mark. Could this have been during the Cloud Card days or the Sakura Card days? I think she means she watched him in the documentary. But I don't think she met him in person, but I could be wrong. I knew that Sakura and Sharon would be fine during the photo shoot, but as someone who isn't involved with the magical world, Mike should have been more concerned about their safety. I would have freaked out.
Oh my God. It's like, oh, look, they're falling. Woo, look at these pictures. Oh my God. Mike.
I'm just going to take photos for this crime scene so my insurance company knows it wasn't completely my fault. The Sakura versus Miho scene. I've been waiting for it all throughout the New York Saga. Spoilers, what makes it sting a little more is how Shin remembers Nadesico and Ryuren, but not his actual wife and kids. Sure, he vaguely remembers Miara and her hair, but that's it. Miho definitely didn't know and was obviously projecting, but I feel I would have been bitter too.
So Shing, I think he was under the memory. Like I'm trying to remember. Because Miara, she had the veil, and I think Shing, he had the memory. And once those two were lifted, they were able to reunite. So the memory is really like messing with his mind.
Wow. As sad as it is, I really like learning and relearning Miho's tragic background. I noticed something too. Mizuki-sensei tells her that she could learn about her powers from Cloud Reed's reincarnation. Miho replies that she doesn't know who it is. But in KMO Chapter 5, Kai actually tells Mayura-sama that Miara used to tell him in Miho stories about Cloud Reed and how he would turn kids into mice if they didn't behave. I know this could be explained by Wish-chan thinking of this with the years, or that Miho is still in shock and her memory was hazy.
Probably the latter. Like, the girl went through a lot of trauma.
Yeah. My only question is, how did they take Miho to England if she was in a coma? So they, just legally speaking, they'd probably have to do like emergent guardianship and kind of signed over a medical waiver form, and then they would probably get her to be able to take her over, and they might have been able to commandeer a private jet or something.
Yeah, and it's like, Ariel probably used his magic to finesse the channels.
Right.
Yeah.
Little confundus charm to them. So I'm reading so much Harry Potter right now. Y'all are going to have to excuse me. Not me rolling my eyes at Iro when he was like, I can't help you because it's no longer my generation of power. Peace out. Lol. I get why this is needed, but for a brief moment, I channeled Sharon's dislike towards Iro. Because, come on, man. You know way more than you're letting Sakura know. Sure, it's limited and biased to Cloud Reed, but you can't tell me Cloud didn't do extensive research back in the day. He had primary and secondary sources at his disposal, as well as his own share of related drama.
Well, Ariel is one who likes to keep the cards close to his chest. He likes to see everything played out and pull the strings when he wants.
Well, I feel like he gets a little bit more team playery towards Arc 4, too.
Yeah.
Completely forgot Miho kissing Sharon's cheek and Meilin whacking her on the head. I want to headcanon this was the reason why Kai kidnapped her. LOL. I love that.
Kai is watching all of this.
I know. Oh, I co-sign that so much. I love that. And lastly, poor Kiro-chan. And the thing is, I also forgot about him throughout the whole thing. Thank you for sharing. See you in the next arc.
Yes, Kiro-chan. It's like you're either eating or sleeping. And finally, that brings us to Chapter 20's podcast comment. The photo shoot Priya was part of sounds so cute. I have to check it out. I learned so much about photo shoots during this podcast. Thank you, Melanie. I've been part of 2 photo shoots. One was in high school. It was a gift from my mom. The second was during my photography class. Our big project was a school-wide photo shoot, and it was really fun. I didn't mention this in the audiobook, but Melanie did such a great job voicing a crying Maylin, baby Sharon, and young Miho. Yay, Melanie.
Aww, thank you.
I don't blame Sakura for snapping at Miho either. I probably would have felt remorseful like Sakura, but not enough to apologize to her or be more understanding. Yo, I always thought he was trying to tell her that he liked her, but I never considered the I lied. Mind blown.
I love it, love it.
I'm so happy for this podcast. It's like I would have never, ever thought in that direction. And now it's like it could be both. And yes, Wish Chen has left a lot of clues. Who knows which breadcrumb clues we may have missed. Thank you for sharing. See you in the Q&A and Arc 2. Oh, that was so much fun. It was like being in New York all over again.
Oh, I'm sad to leave it, but who knows? Maybe we'll get another comment from someone else and we can revisit. But oh,
that was a lot of fun. And so yes, we're still in our hiatus mode. We're letting Melanie take all the time she needs to record Arc 3. But luckily, we have so many more wonderful comments to read, and we're perfectly happy with that.
hoping to just give you nice, slow content until we're ready to officially start Arc 3.
Yeah, it kind of beats like radio silence during the hiatuses.
yeah, for sure.
You have been listening to New Trials the podcast, where it must rain for there to be a rainbow.
You've been listening to New Trials the podcast. Please be sure to check out the audiobook version of this fan fiction, where you can now listen to the completed Arc 1 and Arc 2 versions. And please be sure to check out the Facebook fan page for New Trials, where a big part of our discussions happen nowadays. Also, friendly reminder to please go ahead and send us your questions, just in case in the off chance we hear from our beautiful Wish Chan. You can send us a message on Facebook, or you can message Priya personally, or friendly reminder, we do have an email, which is ntthepod@gmail.com. And we'll see you back next week when we dive into more Diana comics.
Yay!